Yeah, I think you need to approve there or not.
Yeah. Have I done it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
recording. It's recording. Yeah. So I met you in a prison probably 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've still got the email which says you're coming to the project,
That's
and
nice. Yeah.
and it says that you were working with the works department,
Yeah. We're doing gardening.
right? And
Yeah.
was that something you did before?
No, a long time ago, I didn't cut my grass at home,
Right,
because I used to cut my grass at home, but my son, he always wanted to help. And
right.
some job that could take me half an hour was 4 hours because he wanted to do it together. So I stopped
Yeah,
doing gardening as well. But yeah, it was 2 years ago, and
yeah,
was I would say we met on the worst time of my life.
right.
And I know I already mentioned that to you in person, but you are the person that gave me your hand
Yeah, yeah,
when I was down there.
yeah,
And I always be very appreciative for what you did. Not only for me, I'm not special because I saw the way you treat other people as well, or that we do for everyone. That's
yeah,
on you, it's not nothing to do with me. I think our connection came because we think very different about life,
yeah,
but we respect our opinions and we
yeah.
like to have our conversations. I think that's
Yes,
what I would say then.
yeah. And when I first met you, I had no idea because you don't. One doesn't know why anyone's in prison. Um, you obviously can guess where people, because Maidstone is a foreign national prison, so you get a sense of where people are from by their names, but you're still guessing. I'm still
Yeah,
guessing. Um, there's obviously a whole load of paperwork that follows individuals through custody. So, and I have limited access to that paperwork because I'm not HMP staff.
mhm.
But obviously, the colleagues that we worked with, that we both worked with, knew exactly what was going on. Your security levels. This sounds crazy to say all of this now, considering you're running your own company and all the rest of it. But your security levels would have been considered because of the nature of my project with computers.
Yeah,
The nature of why you were there, your crime would have been considered. Um, your risk using technology would have been considered. There's probably a whole load of. And were you aware of any of those things, John? Did they talk to you about any of those things?
no, don't know why I applied for that job there because people came in to talk to me to say there's some jobs that you need to do there. Um, and I said I want to learn about Logic Pro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay.
all they start because I want to learn how to do looping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
say I want to do looping for music, just
Okay.
to do looping. And
Yeah.
then they spoke about your project.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then I just say, yeah, let's do it. But
Okay.
I would say I don't want to sound bad, but not I was on survivor mode.
Yeah.
Was not something that say, wow, I'm gonna learn Logic Pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was to say, yeah, consider everything.
Yeah.
That is the best thing I can get. But what no one knows is how much more you get
Yeah.
from your project, um, which is go beyond um, the other jobs in prison. I think all the job there is related and important in a certain way. But
Yeah.
what you do, you try to bring us our confidence back to at minimal level.
Yeah. I think
That's
that's.
the thing.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm grateful you're saying that because that is something I have really thought about. And when I started doing these projects in prison, I would have lots of men, and sometimes I would have 16 men in a room, and I
Wow.
would have four computers or two computers. And I just wasn't satisfied with that. And I could see that the men themselves, we produced some good work, but it was missing on a massive area of, the reason why you would do this stuff in custody, because it is, as you say, about giving someone a boost and making them, because mental health, as you and I will discuss, is a big issue in prisons. And I think it's a way that I think it starts to impact upon people in if you've not been in a prison, you really can't get a handle
Yeah.
on what that does. And having had that experience, far more than I could ever know about how your mental health suffers when you're removed from your family and your previous life. And then the expectation is then you just come out of that environment and they throw you back on the street again.
Yeah.
I think is crazy,
Yeah.
because sorry, go on.
No, I just yeah,
Well,
agree.
it's just that, you someone becomes more damaged in a way through going through that process, and then to suddenly just go, okay, off you go. Oh, by the way, this experience has given you a mental health issue.
Mm,
Bye, sort it out. You know,
yeah.
it's so, I've had some incredible experiences in prison, and meeting yourself, and you have some really life affirming moments in prison. It's the cliche of when you go to the poorest countries in the world, you find the most generous people. It's
Correct. Yeah.
that kind of experience. So, and also, it affects staff. It affects me going into that environment and seeing
So,
people.
how did you start working there, Tim? Because
Well,
it's when I went there, from the moment I
yeah,
put my foot there, I want to get off straight away.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that was my goal. And you going there every week,
yeah.
more than 1 day a week. And how
Well,
old are you starting?
I was younger and I got really badly beaten up in London by a gang.
Oh,
I got absolutely beaten up, and I lost my sight in one of my eyes. I got kicked in my
wow.
eye, and the my blood, but my eye was full of blood, and I ended up having to go to Whipps Cross Hospital, and it terrified me, and it made me really afraid to leave the house. Um, and I was living with my two uh, oldest friends, and so London, so it became really difficult to cope with this
Hmm.
idea, and I wouldn't go out of the house, and I just thought I've got to get over this. So I had to face my demons, and so one of the things I did, because I actually came up with a massive bruise on my
Hmm.
face. I looked like a boxer, really, and there was no rhyme nor reason to it. There was
Hmm.
no motivation to be being beaten up. I hadn't even engaged with these lads,
Wow.
young kids, just a gang, and
Hmm.
and they all. So I had all that anger, and I basically wanted to hang everyone. At that point, I was so upset by this experience. So gradually, I thought, well, um, I can't. I was head of music at Lewisham College for a little while. Um, and I just started to. I didn't like that job because it was mainstream education, and I'm
Hmm.
sure you can imagine I'm not a good fit for mainstream education. But I was a manager,
Hmm.
and I kind of wanted to move out of it. And I was really good with gangs. I just thought I've got to face this fear
Hmm.
head on. So I started working with predominantly young men, but also young women in London who were excluded from education, and ended up in following my wife, who was teaching drama in a secure training centre, which
Hmm.
is a prison for kids, and ended up kind of working there with a laptop and just moving around the house blocks and doing music with the kids. Don't know how I got away with it, because I think it just started to work. I met a few governors who really seemed to like what I did, and it just snowballed, you know. And then I ended up in most of the prisons in the south of England, British prisons.
Hmm.
And on the back of that, develop the project. And at the time, the technology wasn't really there. So learning about, I knew about music because I'd signed a record deal and I was a music producer and all of that in a previous life. Filmmaking, I could suddenly start making films. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great to do the two? I always think if I'm that age again, why would you not? Because the technology is so easy. That's really, and then I kind of ended up getting noticed a little bit. I had an amazing experience in Medway STC where the money ran out, so I just went home thinking that was that. I'd also become a father at that point, so we'd moved out of London and we'd moved down to Whitstable here. So, and Anita was working full time, so I was trying to develop this business, and the kids had a protest because they wanted me back in the prison.
All right.
I had no idea of this, and I got called in by the clinical psychologist. I'll never forget. And he said, "I don't know what you're doing, but the boys want you back." So we had to so they had to keep the work going. And then I met a few people, and for a while I was employed as a chaplain because it was the only way I could get paid. And I ended up going into Rochester. So it's a long time ago. This is probably 25 years, you know. And
very interesting that you don't believe in God, but you as a chaplain.
That's right. I'll take a salary from him, but, or her. But and it ended up I got through contacts, ended up going to Maidstone for a bit, and then that became my main focus, and that's how I ended up in. And what Maidstone offered me was a TV channel, which I kind of learnt. Because at the time, again, it was all no one had really done this before. So it's all very, with sticky tape. We made this media channel on the back of an analog aerial and all of that kind of stuff. And they gave me the wherewithal to create a group like you experienced, which is one computer per man and no time limit. So, because one of the things I felt after having been around that environment for so long, and I'd done lots of other work for lots of different organizations, all to do with prison, was that you can do a prison sentence of 10, 15 years and you'll come out with a stack of qualifications, none of which you'll remember anymore. And you'll still be faced with the IT revolution and you'll have to go in. So it just seemed obvious to me that one of the things that was missing was, and also just being creative, John, just having fun, and just getting lost. Because it's what I do when I go through bad times, I pick up a guitar or I get lost. You can see behind me or my studio. And so it's really grown organically, which makes it very difficult for me to explain it because it has had its own growth. It hasn't. So if I have to pigeonhole it, I can't, because as you've seen, it could be anything. It's what you bring as well as what I can offer is what it is. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but what I can get from what you just said, you took a bad time and transform to help all the people. That's
and
your
me.
purpose in life.
You
find your purpose and yourself.
And as you, I don't know whether I sense that you've done this, is you go through a bad experience and you learn from it and you educate yourself and it changes you.
And we don't like to be in a bad time. No one likes that one. But based on my last experience of going to prison, is that you can make much better things if you survive. It's the moment that you start to complain, you stop to complain, and you start to find a new way of progress in your life. And that's what you did. You stopped complaining about what happened to you, and let's say, do you know what? I'm gonna face my fears, face my demons, and move on.
But don't get me wrong, John. I mean, I can moan, I can complain out loud, and I remember having conversations with you when you were at a very low ebb, and it's right to express that. You have to be able to express that and say, look, this is not working. The stiff upper British lip, the British stiff upper lip is can work, but I would suggest it's not a healthy attitude when things are, because I would agree with you sometimes. You'd come to me and you go, this is utter and crap. And I'd be like, well, yes, it is. I don't know. I wish it wasn't, but it
Yeah.
is. It is. And I can
But then,
see that I can see how in prison you end up becoming a victim twice, as in, or not a victim twice, but how you start to think of yourself as a victim. And you, not necessarily you, but I see lots of younger British men who are victims of the system, and they start complaining about things which are legitimate things to complain about. And while they're complaining about it, they're not dealing with why they're there.
yeah, one thing that everyone forget is that despite what people do, one
Yeah,
day they're gonna get off. Unless there's some people now is taking sentence for life, but vast majority, they
yeah,
you come back. They you
yeah,
get out one day, yeah?
yeah,
And
yeah,
in my view, from the moment you go inside the prison, you should start a transformation to transform your mind.
yeah,
But what happened there is more punishment.
yeah,
And just by mind, you got 600 people in Mason, and they got one enemy. In
yeah,
reality, Mason they got two enemies. So it's very easy to get a group of people against the system.
yeah,
And doesn't matter what you do, you always complain. You always complain, and you forget what you're right. People forget why they went there,
yeah, yeah,
and they are not trying to solve or to get better.
yeah.
To when they go out, they just find the enemy and they keep fighting.
So listen, let's talk about you before prison, because uh, it's a big story. So you were born in Brazil.
Yes, I was born in Brazil 46 years ago. Yeah. And yeah, my birthday was on Friday, and
Happy
I
birthday.
turned out 46.
Wow.
My kids keep on telling me I'm 38. That's
Okay.
what they tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, but so in 2016,
Yeah.
my wife and I, we had a daughter. 2015, sorry. And my wife, my daughter, and I were planning to go to Germany for my wife would finish her master's degree, the
Yeah.
second half of master's degree. But in the meantime, we found out she was pregnant
Yeah.
of my son. And we say, let's continue moving away because what was the main point for us, or the main reason for us to leave Brazil was security. Brazil was not a very safe country
Okay.
in that
Yeah.
time, and it's still
Yeah.
not in some
Yeah.
areas. And we had for 3 times people going inside our house,
Yeah.
and it was very scary to live there.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's go to UK because I could speak a little bit of English at that time, and I think it's going to be easy for me to find a job.
Yeah.
So we came 2016, my wife pregnant, my daughter, and was not that easy to find a job. The companies I work for, all from Brazil, people here didn't understand or didn't know the company I work for,
Hmm.
and but I had to work, so I started to work as a cleaner, and I worked 1 year cleaning offices, uh, university, this kind of thing. I
Yeah.
worked in the Cheltenham race course for a few
Okay.
months as well on the cleaning
Okay. Yeah.
until one day I said, this is not right. I need to find a job in my area because what's not good. And I gave my resignation letter for the job I was doing as a cleaner. And I say, I got 2 weeks to find a job. My wife, pregnant, and I started to drive around every single company that I found with plastic. They produce
Okay.
plastic. I left my CV because that's
Yeah.
what the job I do in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I end up find a job in Leicester.
Yeah.
So from Cheltenham to Leicester,
Yeah.
and then I moved to Leicester, work in production,
Yeah.
um, and then I very quickly become a production manager,
Yeah.
then plant manager, then
Yeah.
plant director.
Yeah.
So I work in a company for 4 years, almost 5 years,
Yeah.
and then I've been invited in 2021 to the company I work today to be board or one of the board of directors. And in 2023, I was driving to the Heathrow airport and I crashed my car, 5 o'clock in the morning. Was my fault. I was not under any influence of any drugs, not on the phone, nothing. Was something that happened to my brain or my mind. And I went to the other side of the road for 6 seconds and I crashed another car.
Yeah.
So that one gave me 28 months of prison that I had to serve 11.
Yeah.
So that when everything changes. And it's still painful.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, I think in 2 weeks, it's going to be 1 year, complete 1 year that I'm out.
Yeah.
It's still very painful,
Yeah.
but I would say that I'm a different person since about that since I left,
Yeah.
because I think the same as you see people in a different way. You see people as a people,
Yeah.
and probably because of my focus on my family and get job provide to my family, I was only seeing us four and not turning my attention to other people. You know, I didn't do bad things for other people. I didn't see,
Yeah.
just didn't see. I remember one day I called my wife. I was, I think, my first week or so, and I said to her, "Look, I see people here with their face that I never saw in my life.
Yeah.
The way they talk, the way they behave, I never saw that those people um, on the street." And after a few months, I realized that maybe I there was a lot of everyone's like them, but I was too much comfortable inside my car.
Right.
They are not giving attention to other people.
Yeah.
Um, and since that, I decided I need to do something to help other people, to help with resilience,
Yeah.
to talk about mindset. Um, and that's my journey. And I think what we are doing together here,
Yeah.
we got complete different people in a different position when I was in the prison,
Yeah.
because I was one inmate in the work there,
Yeah.
and we want to have the same goal.
Yeah. Well, and it also, I think, so the when we can talk about this later on in more detail, but the process that you went through, because it strikes me there was a lot of turmoil in your life anyway, leaving Brazil. I can't imagine that's a very easy decision, despite what we might read in the press. People leaving countries to go somewhere else is a big step. I mean, my experience of that is people buying property in Spain to go and sit in the sun when they're
Yeah,
retired. It's
yeah,
not, or young kids going somewhere because there's there's an adventure to be had and possibly a job. Um, but I can honestly say, as a British person, I haven't met anyone who is British here in this country has had to pack up their entire life and get out because of a threat.
yeah.
Now that might exist in certain occupations of life where there is a
Mm.
threat, but genuinely, I don't know of British people that have really had to do that. Um, so that was a big decision, I think, for you and your family, and then to suddenly, presumably, you stepped quite a long way back down the career ladder.
Yeah. On that one, I remember when I did one of my interviews. People come doing the interviews for to get a job, not on this company, another one, and they say to me, "Why you came here about the weather?" And I say, "Look, you guys complain about weather, about the roads, about NHS,
Yeah,
about everything, but you don't know what is to live in a country that's not safe."
yeah,
Yeah. We do have problems with roads. We do have a problem with healthcare,
Yeah.
but that's okay because you know your family is safe.
Yeah.
But at the moment in Brazil, it's not okay because we got all that problem together.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't know what's gonna will happen tonight.
Yeah.
That can happen on the way you drive from work to a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone can stop you and say, "Get out of the car with a weapon,"
Yeah.
and then what you do? You don't
Yeah.
know. That's bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a very big decision because I remember that we came with 11 luggage. Everything that was not necessary, was not imperative, we sold. All the memories we sold, and we sell for nothing
Yeah.
because we just got value for yourself.
Yeah.
And then we come with a lot of hope, a lot of good ideas,
Yeah.
and a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And Tim, when you do that, there's only one way, and that's no plan B.
Yeah.
We need to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember my wife, she was pregnant. I used to work at nighttime at one place, finish about 10 o'clock, and I used to sleep in a separate bedroom to allow her to sleep the whole night because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Because I had to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to get out again to work.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of thing that we work. And I question my decision time to time. In
Yeah.
that time, I remember saying to my wife, I need to go back. This is not working. This is not life. And she say, my wife, she was very supportive all the time. And she say, I don't think we tried everything. We just stepping in the door. We are not getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
I say we're gonna find a job in my area. And since there, we're just doing, just
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's true of life. When you don't have a plan B, it's just got to work. I
Need
mean,
to work.
I say this in a much more simplistic level, in that I walked out of a relationship into my current relationship, marriage,
Mm.
in fact, which is now nearly 30 years, and had no idea. I literally left with a bag, you know, and knocked on my wife's door and said, "Will you have me?" And
All right.
luckily she said yes. But there was no plan B for us. So it was kind of like, you've just got to get on with it, and it worked, you know.
Yeah.
But um so it
And that's the
sounds
thing.
like,
Sorry, Tim. And I think that's what I'm with the same mindset
yeah,
I'm using now after the prison
yeah,
because I lost 1 year of my kids, of to being with my family, and of myself that I could not achieve pretty much anything. So I have only one plan now, and this is the plan A,
yeah,
which I got my project. We got this
yeah,
project together because people need to see people. We see those people there today, and people outside do not understand what is going
no,
on there.
no, no. And apart from anything else, it's not working for me. It doesn't work. People come out of prison, certainly British prisons, the reoffending rates are through the roof. I'd have to look them up, what they are, but people, go into this cycle of release, back in prison, release back. It costs a fortune apart from
Yeah,
anything else. um but so you had this massive, almost like, ride, where you're probably
yeah,
living on adrenaline and everything's busy. You're probably really exhausted. Your wife's giving birth to your kids. There's and then there's success because you keep achieving.
yeah.
And it sounds like you achieved a lot really quick. Like every year there'd be a major change, or even more than every year.
Yeah, to know what, Tim, people say they always say that bad times makes better people. Bad
Yeah,
times makes better people because you need to be stronger to face the challenge.
yeah,
If the challenge is big, yeah, you must be stronger than that. Otherwise, you give up.
yeah,
And because I think I put so much energy in that time, there was no other way. I had to do it.
yeah.
I remember the day I was working with my first on this company before this one, where I was working from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a shop floor. I used to come very, very dirty with oil every day. And 40 days after I got this job, or when I started, my wife said to me, "It's not working. You need to get to be promoted." And I say to her, how? And she said to me, I don't know. I have no idea, but it's not working for us. You
Right.
need to get promoted.
Okay.
And then one night, I didn't sleep. I remember that one. I started to think how we're going to do it. Very next day, I sent an email to the CEO of the company, say, I would like to have a meeting with you to present a project. I didn't have the project, by the way. I just say, I need to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you willing to talk to me? And he said, yes, next week we talk.
Okay. And then
And
you
in
had to
one
think,
week, yeah, in 1 week, I had to build the project,
yeah,
which was not it was not that difficult for me because I did that job in Brazil. Back in Brazil, I was a plant manager as well.
yeah, yeah,
So it was okay. I knew how to do it. But if you want to make things work, if you wait for invitation, forget about. No one's gonna come to you and say, "Please come, I'm gonna give you a promotion." You need to step. You need to go, and that's the thing I keep doing all the time, and that's only one way, on plan A.
yeah. And then suddenly, wash, it stops. Boom.
Boom.
End of.
That's
Back in.
that's a
Yeah.
that's a bad one.
I'm starting to think that maybe did you feel a sense of almost like, when you're traveling forward and then suddenly you stop, but you're still traveling forward, and that disconnection, that gap between what you're feeling and what's actually going on must have been for you an absolute shock.
Yeah, when we as a human, time and time when you develop your career, you got those base for your pyramid. What is important to you? First, you want to have your basic, and
Yeah,
then you start to progression. But time to time, we need to find some way of challenge ourselves. So if we choose to do something new or to start a new job or to develop a new business, you know the challenge you're going to face. So you are okay with that one because it was your decision.
yeah,
What happened to me was not my decision,
yeah,
and I was not expecting at all.
yeah,
And I got lost,
yeah,
and I got the sense of my life ended,
yeah,
that I will die.
yeah,
My life is not going to be the same anymore.
yeah,
And I think I mentioned to you, I tried to give up of my life two
yeah,
times. Yeah,
yeah,
you probably you got access to my records when
yeah.
um on that
John,
one.
I did, but I didn't read. I choose not to read them, to be honest. If
Okay.
someone's in distress, which I'm sure you were, and I noticed. Well, I know you were. Then the team, the colleagues of of all of ours now,
Yeah.
who are still incredibly fond of you, will have gone. We need to look after John, and they won't necessarily have shared the information
Hmm.
fully with me, but they would have all been aware, that someone was wobbling,
Yeah.
and would have kind of, because it's obvious, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you just tired because people you have no idea how much energy you need to put inside your mind just to survive another day.
Yeah. That was the feeling I got from you at one point, was you were just knackered.
Yeah.
You were so knackered. And I remember you started to look a little bit disheveled, and you weren't bothering to you were just wearing prison clothes, and it just, I mean, I don't know whether you did that deliberately to blend in, I don't know, but um you looked exhausted. And you did tell me at the time, I remember very clearly you saying, I just,
I
you didn't,
to know.
you
Yeah,
almost
it's
ran
that.
out of words, John. You ran out of words. I remember you saying to me,
Yeah. To know the thing is, as I said to you, you need to put energy every single day for the next 24 hours.
yeah,
That's the way you're surviving. But the knowledge that I do is every day you run a marathon.
yeah,
Every day, yeah, for 12 months.
yeah,
The first one, yeah, you keep it going. The first month, after 6 months, your legs start to get a little bit grippy. Your knee,
yeah,
but you keep it going. You keep it going, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's one day that you say, "Do you know what? I'm
Knackered.
not gonna. I can't. It's
Yeah,
not that I don't want to.
yeah,
My mind is tired."
yeah,
Um, and then you say, "Do you know what? I have no energy anymore."
yeah,
It is life. It is like
yeah,
this. And I remember I think I stayed one few days that I almost didn't speak with my wife.
yeah,
I called her once and once a day only for a few weeks because I didn't have energy
yeah,
to talk. Um,
yeah,
I asked her that don't come to visit me, but she came
yeah,
every week. Um, but it was hard. It
yeah,
was hard.
yeah,
And to be honest, I time to time I think, for example, I know now it's 15 to 5. I know this is the time that people go back.
yeah,
And I still remember every
yeah,
single day about the timing.
yeah,
Yeah, there's no one day that I check the time that I don't remember what I was doing on
yeah,
there. And sometimes I still feel the pain. And what I would say is that longer you keep there, your brain, your confidence, and you just go on survival mode. You just say,
yeah.
"Do you know what? I do. I don't do." And
Did
you just be.
did you know that that was happening to you? Were you conscious of the dip? I mean, were you, when I say conscious of the dip, did you know that it was
Um, there was
get?
one. That's one lady in the few many times, not more than one day. Yeah, that I used to have inside the cell a lot of papers, written projects that I want to do outside. A lot. Yeah. One day, maybe I share that to you. I
Yeah,
still,
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna do this project, blah blah.
yeah, yeah,
And there are days that I just pack everything.
yeah,
All my clothes I put inside the bag, the bin bag, and I just left there,
yeah,
not doing anything. Just say, yeah, nothing more. I don't have energy to
yeah,
think about the future. I don't know if it's the future after this.
yeah,
Um, and I just say, yeah, I don't want to talk to anyone. I remember weekends that I stayed inside the cell, yeah, from I just went for a shower and I went back to cell the entire weekend, or even going to the yard or even outside, just stay inside for weekends and
mm,
complete. Just went on Sunday to see my wife and my kids and then come back and not talk to anyone. But one thing I have to say, in the prison, there's a lot of people there that could see me that was not talking. People, not the people that works there, inmates.
yeah,
And I remember a lot of people came to talk to me and say, "You're not well." I say, "I'm okay." "No, no, you're not well." People give me chocolate, give me some drinks. Just say, keep it going, man. Keep it going. This is gonna end one day. So I found those people, they don't know what I do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And probably they got less support in terms of family than I had.
mm,
But they didn't care. They just say, we're all together. Let's keep moving. Let's keep pushing. And I think was a little bit time to time there, a little bit of push, a little bit of push, a little bit of push. And then right to the end, I was going down
yeah,
the hill big time.
yeah, yeah,
But one thing that happened when I changed prison, when I left Maidstone,
yeah,
you know, was great, but I could see outside. I remember seeing outside. I remember when I saw the petrol station, say, wow. And I remember seeing cars outside because when I changed for the DCAT, we went in a van
right,
and
okay,
it was not on that little window,
yeah,
you know, that big van. It was a normal van. And we could see outside and seeing people outside and say, wow, there's life outside here.
yeah,
And there was a little bit of boost, a little bit of energy,
yeah, yeah. Because
just enough
I've,
to
well,
continue.
I wonder, John. I mean, you tell me, but you know, one of the things I'm really conscious of is when I go into prisons is people don't get a view. Actually, they can't see anything. They see across the yard to yet
Yeah,
another prison building. You know, they don't go out at night unless it's the winter and it happens to be dark at that time of day. They don't get weather because you know they're not out enough to be in the rain.
yeah,
Um, and it's just silly. And they don't get sound always. I'm very conscious of sound in prison.
mm,
You know, there's always on the wings. It's always noisy. Um, and
yeah.
you don't get the sound of silence or the sound of traffic or all the sounds that we hear and don't even notice probably.
Oh no, the sound is. I had few experience when I was talking to my wife on the phone, and I said, "Look, I need to stop because the noise here is impossible to talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah, people shouting, people banging doors, and I remember one day about 3 o'clock in the morning, the guy next to the cell I was, he started to shout, and he was loudly saying, "The demons is inside of the cell, and the demon want to kill me."
yeah,
And that went for hours and hours and hours. This kind of sound,
yeah,
it is a little bit scary,
yeah,
um, but that's in your mind. I remember the first day I saw the moon when I
yeah,
went to DCAT. I saw the moon. I remember looking to the sky and say, wow, I can see the moon.
yeah.
Little things like that.
I
And that changed everything.
we must invite a guy I know called Terry on who did a very long sentence,
Hmm.
and I met him in open conditions because he'd been in so long that you know you generally meet serious offenders in open conditions because they're coming out.
Yeah.
And he wrote a poem actually, and we made a little film of the dawn because he
Hmm.
just couldn't believe the night sky and he couldn't believe the dawn, and he kind of had a real appreciation of the light changing at the beginning of the day, which he'd never had in his life because he hadn't had to. It was just always there. I found that really moving and really kind because this is a you know quite a tough character who's suddenly seeing the world. Almost, it's almost like I don't want to use it. It's almost like a religious experience, you know. It's almost like bang, there it is. We are in the world. Which is why my atlas is in my room. I want us all to think about the world. I
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
us to be. The world is with us, wherever we are. You know, I can't remember who said it. There's a poem about we need to be in the world more. The world is always with us, wherever we are.
Yeah.
And that was my idea of having the atlas and
Mhm.
having people write their names, where they're from, especially in a foreign national prison, just to remind them that it's all still there. And it reminded me that I haven't got a clue about where half these people are from and what they've experienced. And, that your journey to Britain, which,
Yeah.
was traumatic and all the rest of it, but it was and you brought your family with you.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
as someone who's from Britain, I feel really proud that people want to come here.
Yeah.
I,
I think you guys don't realize how good
yeah,
this country is. How
yeah,
despite all the problems that we have. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. The the work I do, the business I do here, we are
yeah,
very in line with macroeconomies.
yeah,
I need to be very in line on that one. We understand the challenges, but
yeah,
it's nothing near some other countries.
yeah,
Nothing, nothing.
yeah. And obviously, what's happening right now,
Yeah. Ugh.
with all the stuff in Iran and all the rest of it, it's probably hitting your business
Oh, yeah.
finance. So, do you think that experience in Maidstone Prison has made you more relaxed about the Hormuz Strait, John?
Um,
When does it
look,
make you
I got
go, can't do anything about it, really?
okay. I need to. We're gonna come back here. Don't move. I
Okay,
just need to put in my charger on my computer. Just a moment.
okay,
Yeah. Because what we don't want is to lose all the communication we had
yeah,
this time.
yeah. So my question was, given what's happening in the world at the moment, which is having an effect on your business,
It's
has the
19.
exp has the Maidstone experience made you more relaxed about all of that? Would you have been
Um,
less? Would you have been the same before Maidstone about this if you
no,
hadn't gone?
I see life in a different way now. Yeah, and I try to pass this for the team that works with me here. Yeah, there are problems and there is work.
Yeah,
Yeah, are you there? Yeah.
yeah. I just lost you
Um,
for a moment. There's problem and there's
um,
work.
yeah, there's a problem in life where things happen to your family, happen to you. That's a real problem. Work is work.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why I say that one, works I deal with without emotion now is a fact. I used to get tired, stressed at work. I don't. I do analyze data and that's it.
yeah,
So what happened to us now? I got a meeting with one of our suppliers tomorrow.
yeah,
They want to put the price up, and they say maybe we're gonna be impossible to supply raw material for the products they do. In the other time, I will be very stressed
yeah,
about this. No, tomorrow I got a meeting. We're gonna talk, and we're gonna come to a solution. If they cannot find, I need to find another supplier. End of.
yeah,
You know, I know the responsibility I have. There's a lot of people working here. There's a lot of families that
yeah,
depend on us. So if I do act with my emotional not under control, that's no good.
yeah.
So that I learned in the prison.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's that's a positive.
that's a. Oh, my wife, she said to me more than once, one day we're gonna see the positive side of this thing.
Yeah,
I said to her, "That's no positive."
yeah,
I said, when I was in prison, I said, "Look, that's not positive. It's on bad, only bad." Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I think there are quite a lot of positive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but people, the difference, Tim, is that people need to choose. I chose to take the positive side of it. Some other people don't.
yeah,
And when we're talking to about prison, we is a system for a lot of people. We cannot expect that each individual find their own way in life. because they went there for a reason.
Yeah.
They went there because there's something wrong with them before they commit the crime.
Yeah.
And some people did bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so all these things happen in the world affect us,
Yeah. And
and we just
what's sorry, but one of the things I think is really touching about your family and your employer is they stuck by you.
yes,
And
yeah,
I don't I see some people that there is no one sticking by them. Um, and you know that's really tough because you can't. There's nothing there for them. So it's hats off to those people around you that just didn't listen to you and just said, no, we're here for you. So
yeah.
you
I'm very
know,
grateful because my family, they knew I always my worry was the shame of
yeah,
my kids going
yeah,
to school on when I was not there, and to be judged as my kids because I always been the hero for them.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And from the moment I'm in the prison, and that didn't change. The same applies for my wife. That didn't change at all. So, which I'm very grateful for. And another part is the company I work for,
yeah,
and they stood by my side, and
yeah,
I will be very grateful for them as well. Especially, I'm from different country
yeah,
as well, and they stopped everything. We stopped the entire investment plan that I put in place. I left their map out, but they say we're not going to do it until we come back. So we are starting to do this investment plan now. Um, just on that one team, I still with my tag, my uncle.
yeah,
Yeah, I still got my tag. I still have the home office wanted to depose me,
yeah,
and we signed last week an investment plan for £7 million that we're going to invest in the plant here. That was the project I put.
yeah,
The alternative is buy products from China
yeah,
and remove all employees from this area.
yeah,
So it's a little bit controversial. Sometimes I think to myself, yeah, I'm doing something that is going to help the community here to get people working here. Um, and at the same time, home office want
and they're still
to do
trying to
people.
do that now.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. But
Wow.
let's, do you know what? Is we can talk about this process
Yeah.
in all
Because
what time.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we kind of we've we've gone through a lot there, John. And I really appreciate you being so frank because you're at work, and you know I don't want to leave you in a pile of tears on the floor when you've got to be at work. But yeah, no, that I was really shocked when I because this is something other people don't understand is when I was in Maidstone and people who'd served for the British Army were not allowed to stay. I mean, I just thought that was unbelievable. I can't, you know, do. I mean, obviously, some people had done some very bad things, but I can't remember anyone having done anything really bad. You know,
Yeah,
certainly not murder in my experience. And they put their life on the line for Britain, and yet they were being deported. I mean, I don't know
yeah,
whether people fully understand.
yeah. What when I found this very challenge,
Yeah,
very challenge because all these about immigration, people use as vote to get
yeah,
vote. Yeah,
yeah,
I spoke with a lot of companies in the UK.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people in my sector, the manufacturing. Yeah, no one, no one ever told me we don't accept people from different countries.
yeah.
Yeah, people that works in the manufacturing, they don't care where people coming from.
No,
They just want to get the work done. Yeah,
exactly.
we what we do here, we are in the marketing for over 80 years.
Yeah,
We check everything for people to be legal, allowed to
yeah,
work here. We don't have
yeah,
any illegal. Yeah.
yeah,
But in 2022, 2022, I think it was 2022. I did an interview. BBC came to my plant and did an interview with me to talk about the difficulty to find a job, employees,
Right.
or
Okay.
the challenge of the manufacturing companies are facing to find people to work.
Right.
And 1 year later, I was at the same BBC being arrested.
Yeah.
Life goes up and down all the time.
Yeah.
And what I would say with there, people use migration to vote.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of documentaries since the First War where people started to come to here and say, "Let not accept them." This is just to manipulate people, in my
Yeah.
view.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, one of the things we should talk about as well at some point is how that experience has affected your political view, because we had some great conversations
Yeah.
about money, capitalism, business, very wealthy people versus very, and that was interesting. And I've still got some of your doodles somewhere. Well, they're still in the
I got
media.
a board
But yeah,
here
there you
just to
go.
make my drawings. Yeah.
There you go. So, but anyway, look, I think that's been brilliant, John. I think we've done chapter one right there.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I would say I'm very happy with this project
yeah,
that we are just starting. It's the first little steps,
yeah,
and we got so much more to talk. We just gave the first one.